menstruating heart. It was a Faith No More morning. Only because I randomly grabbed that CD with all the other random CDs I grabbed. I don't have my new head unit in there, so yeah, listening to CDs on the old 90s head unit, or early 2000s, I guess it's a 2000. But it sounds very 90s. Although it sounds upgraded 90s now because I put new speakers in there. Nothing this morning, except for to say humans are weird. And I don't mean, our propensity to, create weird social systems and get really attached to them and hurt each other or have weird sexual hang-ups. No, I just mean bipedalism. Bipedalism is weird. Especially ours. There are other bipedal animals, but, what are they? What are the actual bipedal animals roaming around, primarily? Birds, right? And they got wings, and even the ones that are flightless still have wings for balance, it's shoop, shoop, shoop. Sorry. And tails. We ain't got no tail. Other bipedal animals kind of they have their, they'll have a tail to balance them, or a long neck to balance them, or both. Or they don't primarily move bipedalism, in a bipedal manner, bipedal. You got gophers and meerkats and stuff, and they stand up. But that's it, they just stand there, if they're gonna move around, they're on all fours. But not humans, we find the most unbalanced way, just standing straight up, nothing out back or in front to help us balance, just straight up and down, walking around with our big asses, because that's what big asses are for. Big asses are for walking. If you got a little ass, you're not walking properly, and most of us aren't, which is why we all have back pain and collapsed arches and all that business. I was having a conversation actually with my witch doctor about collapsed arches, because we were talking about people that we knew who actually grew up outside, or you can look at pictures what's her name, Gockley has all those great pictures of what people in less developed countries often have really good posture, excellent spinal mechanics, all that sort of thing, non-fallen arches. And I was asking him, because it's just whenever my arches kind of collapse, I if I'm not putting the weight on my heel proper in the right way, in the right place, and my foot kind of turns in, that's when you get that collapsed arch. But it's just I've seen big old professional basketball players with these just really flat feet, and it's just okay, so do they have flat feet but not collapsed arches? Because you wouldn't think somebody would be able to have the wear and tear on their feet if they have collapsed arches, and they're also not going to be getting the power through their legs and glutes, right? Because when your foot collapses, you have a power leak, and you're also not automatically reflexively turning on all the muscles that need to be turned on to help you be athletic. And it's yeah, he says, because he works on athletes still, and worked on a lot of them, at UT when he was younger, and working through UT a lot. And yeah, you see guys with big old flat feet, but not collapsed arches, and that's just really interesting. It's we always think about it, in the pop physio world as being opposed. I remember there was this dude I hung out with briefly, and he was this pasty white dude, kind of creepy. He doesn't like me, I don't like him, it's okay. Yeah, it was neat to watch him walk around outside, because he grew up in Africa. His parents were missionaries, and so he grew up walking around barefoot. And you can actually see when he's walking around outside on an uneven surface, how his foot rolls and flexes and the toes grab. It's really neat to watch, and it's just wow, we've lost a whole lot of our physical capacity by living on flat surfaces. With shoes on all the time. I'll never have kids to raise, probably, to help them grow grow up and have nice strong feet. But I wish I could form a colony or a society somewhere and, have laws where people actually, they're in line with what's helpful for people, not for profit. Anyway, not a rant, but it's over. I guess I need something to say besides rant over when it's not really a rant. But, I guess as long as I scowl and say rant over,